Let's speak now to Reverend Sister Bellarmine Azuma, a professor and graduate program director, journalism and mass communication at Murray State University in Kentucky, United States. Thank you for joining us on the program.
I'm pleased to be here.
Right, so how do you feel with the election of a new pope who is the first ever American?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm sure many were as well. It was really a wonderful news when that was announced yesterday. And it wasn't just the first American born, but he had a few other firsts, you know. He is the first Augustinian to become Pope. You know, it was really wonderful. Church bells were ringing here in the United States. And of course, his alma mater, Villanova University in Pennsylvania, were just beside themselves. And last night, the Empire State Building in New York was lit with gold and white in honor of his papacy. So it was an overall joyful news.
Would you say that it's interesting that the new pope comes from America at the time the President Donald Trump assumed office for his second term?
Yes, it's an interesting development for United States, but I would like to point out that he wasn't elected Pope only just because he was American born. He had so many accolades you know, in his bag. He was a servant leader, you know, in many positions. But coming to United States, yes, I think it's a, you know, is an icing on the cake, because when you look at the Catholic population here in United States, it's actually declining. The last Pew Research, poll found that as at last year, about 19% of the population of the United States identify as Catholics, as opposed to about a quarter, 24% in 2007. So it is a good thing, and it's an interesting thing. And who knows, maybe it will boost the population of Catholics in the United States once more. I was speaking with a friend of mine yesterday. He said, actually, that, you know, it feels like living in a little village, because this friend of mine, you know, knows Pope Leo XIII very well. He said he feels like, you know, living in a village, and then all of a sudden one of you becomes a priest. Definitely, it will strengthen the faith. So I am bringing the same analogy to United States and hoping probably it will positively impact the American population. Now, coming to, you know, United States and under the presidency of Donald Trump, a lot of things are going on. You know, we have lots of agitation in terms of immigration, in terms of race, gender, socioeconomic status. Yes, I think Pope Leo XIV is a welcome development in terms of all these social, perhaps injustices. Given his name, Pope Leo XIV, taken after Pope Leo XIII, and knowing that Pope Leo XIII actually was the one that promulgated a lot of Catholic social teachings. And those teachings, human dignity, solidarity, participating, having the right to participate, dignity of work, and, you know, good conditions and good pay for workers. These are, you know, problems that are facing United States of America. But also I can even extend it to the rest of the world. So yes, having this Pope at this moment is a good development.
Right. Apart from the things that you listed about the virtues and what he hopes to continue from the Pope Leo XIII, what else can we expect in the future from his spiritual leadership?
Well, given the experiences he's had so far, I would say he have tested every facet of religious leadership. He's, as I said, he is an Augustinian. He has served as the local superior of his community, regional superior of his community, general superior of his community. He has served as a pastor, as a bishop, as a missionary, as a formator, all in Peru. So I'm sure he's going to bring in all this wealth of knowledge, but also, most importantly, he has that humility. He has the servant leadership skills. And also, he is somebody that is very assertive, and he's not afraid to correct and to confront. Not confront in a very bad way, but to confront in a way to teach. An example of that is, and I'm sure we know about, when the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, gave a different interpretation of what Jesus meant when he says, love your neighbor. J.D. Vance actually said, Jesus instructs us to love ourselves first, to love our family next, to love our community next, to love the world next. So he was quick to interject, and he said, no. When Jesus said to love your neighbor as yourself, there was no ranking. He actually cited, of course, the parable where somebody, the person who fell on the street, and the person that actually helped them, helped the guy, was not the person from the family or from the community. It was an outsider. So I like that he's very assertive, and I like that he is somebody who will see something that is going awry, and he will be quick to interject and to correct. And I think that is the kind of leadership that he will bring. Also, I think the kind of leadership that he will bring is the leadership of peace and hope. We saw yesterday that his first words were, peace be with you. And that is what we are, expecting that he will bring in, to actually instill, because the Catholic social teachings, they are there. But I think we need to resurrect it. And for him to choose that name, Pope Leo XIV, and I'm sure he is going to focus on those social teachings, because we need it in today's day and age. We need peace and care for the poor. And he worked most of his life, with the poorest of the poor in Peru, and the marginalized, So that is the kind of leadership I think we will expect from him. And I'm sure he will deliver.
Right, so rightly so. And, I might just chip in that, President Donald Trump says he hopes to meet with the new Pope soon. He said it's a great honor that the world now has a new Catholic leader, a leader of the Catholic Church that's American. What do you expect, those kind of meetings would be like, the kind of discussions that may take place should President Trump indeed meet the new Pope?
Well, I am sure that the new Pope definitely will welcome the president, and I'm sure it will be an honor for President Trump. And I don't know in what manner or the time, they will meet, but I think from what we've seen so far from Pope Leo XIV, he will be quick to also provide some advice, especially on how things are going in the United States. And he's very in touch with his people. And I know that when the infamous story of George Floyd happened in Minnesota, he actually posted in his social media page about what's going on. And given that he's aware of everything happening in the United States, I'm pretty sure that Pope Leo XIV will have some words of advice to President Trump.
All right, we'll be back with it shortly. We'll just go on a short break on the program, and when we return, hundreds of visitors have gathered at the Fuji Motoshuko Resort during the annual Fuji Shabzakura Festival, one of Japan's most popular events, drawn by the breathtaking pink moss fields. Welcome back. Let's wrap up our discussion with Reverend Sister Bellarmine Ezuma on the emergence of a new pope. We were just talking about, what to expect if the new pope and the U.S. President Donald Trump should meet. Of course, Americans are excited about the fact that a new pope is American. Also, the people of Peru are super elated that someone that has, they know so well is also the new pope. But that's from, those two countries. The rest of the world, the Catholics, are also happy to have someone, a new leadership. What, can the rest of the world expect from Pope Leo, the leadership they hope that he will bring to them?
Well, we hope that he will bring a leadership that will restore peace, restore hope, restore more people believing in the Catholic faith, especially in the Western world and particularly in the United States. Yes, we've had a few incidences where people left the church, but being that the Holy Father now is from the United States, I am sure he will instill that virtue of family, of community, of participation. And also, we are hoping that being a missionary, he's traveled the world. He knows the poor, he knows the rich. So he knows the sufferings of the people. And we hope it is someone who will also increase and implement that participation. And Pope Francis actually did that in a way. Participation by every human being, every Catholic, both men and women. And also, we are hoping that he will be someone who will be also all-embracing, embracing everyone, irrespective of your age, of your gender, of your socioeconomic status, of your class, and of your race. So that's what we are hoping that he will bring.
Right. Thank you. Thank you again for your time, Reverend Sister Bellarmine Ezuma, a professor and graduate program director, journalism and mass communication at the Murray State University in Kentucky, the United States.
Thank you.